I really don't know why SNP members are applauding that, because that was a very long answer that didn't address the very specific point. So I'll try again. Does John Swinney commit now to deliver the pledge he made as Education Secretary to deliver free school meals to all primary school pupils by the end of this parliamentary session? That was a simple question that can surely get a simple yes or no answer. And let me ask about another pledge that the SNP made to the poorest children in Scotland. This year's exam results showed that the attainment gap is at higher level is wider than ever. John Swinney, the Education Secretary, vowed to eradicate the attainment gap completely. Yet John Swinney, the First Minister's bold ambition is merely to seek to reduce it, and he's even failing at that. So is John Swinney proud that his legacy will be Scotland's poorest children falling further behind?
First Minister.
Presiding Officer, the Government is facing very challenging financial times, and I set out yesterday that we will deliver the commitment to ensure that free school meals are available for primary 6 and 7 pupils who are eligible for the Scottish Child Payment. But we will not be able in this parliamentary term to roll out the eligibility on a universal basis across primary 6 and 7 pupils, because our budget has been eroded by the fiscal mismanagement and the sky-high inflation which Douglas Ross was party to creating as part of his support for the United Kingdom Government. Now, on the question of the attainment gap, the Government, of course, has given steadfast support to the education system through the delivery of the Scottish Attainment Challenge and pupil equity funding. And what do we see? We see, amongst young people leaving school and going into positive destinations, the attainment gap has reduced by 60%. 60%. That is transformational for the lives of young people in Scotland, and I'm glad the Government delivered those commitments.
Douglas Ross.
Well, I'm glad at my second attempt I was able to get an honest answer out of John Swinney. He has confirmed that the SNP are breaking their promise to deliver free school meals to all primary schools pupils in Scotland. Now, that's movement from his Deputy First Minister just this morning, who, when asked about it on the radio, suggested that it may still be possible and they would do it during this Parliament if budgets allowed. John Swinney's ruled that out. He is now announcing today to people across Scotland that the promise he made as Education Secretary, the promise he asked people to support the SNP to get them into government, has now been broken. Eradicating the attainment gap was supposed to be the SNP's #1 priority, but the attainment gap is as wide as ever. And now it's clear that the top priority of eradicating child poverty is going to go the same way, because the First Minister has just announced they have abandoned their pledge to provide free school meals for all. For 17 years, this Government has overpromised and underdelivered for Scotland's children. No one will believe yet another empty SNP promise to add to the pile. This week's programme for government was supposed to be John Swinney's big relaunch, but instead we got more of the same from an SNP government that is out of ideas and out of ambition. So are broken promises, like the one John Swinney has just announced today, the best he has to offer Scotland's children?
First Minister.
President Officer, my commitment to eradicating child poverty is steadfast in this programme for government, and the Government is putting the resources in to make sure that we can achieve that objective, with over £400 million being spent on the Scottish Child Payment, which is keeping 100,000 children out of poverty. That is what is happening on this Government's watch. We have a lower child poverty rate in Scotland, far too high for my liking, far too high, but it's been made worse by the folly and the actions of the 14 years of the Well, Douglas Ross, as usual, from his front bench seat, shouts and interrupts at me, and he says it's on my choices.
Mr Ross.
Yes, it is my choice, Mr Ross. It's my choice to make sure we invest in the future of Scotland, which the Conservative Government destroyed by the austerity agenda that was supported by all of the Conservative members over there. And what the people of Scotland will hear from this Government is a determination to ensure that we deliver on our commitments to lift children out of poverty, where the Tories have made the situation worse.